Wouldn't it help if you guys could hear me? There we go. Hey everyone, happy Saturday. My name's Karli Barnett. We're here at the First Alert Desk. We hope you're having a nice holiday weekend, whether you're celebrating Easter tomorrow or Passover or Ramadan. We hope you are enjoying your weekend with your families. We know it's a rainy one out there. We're going to have meteorologist Cutter Martin here in just a minute, but in the meantime, I did want to start you out with some of your weekend stories. So we just wrapped up our afternoon meeting where we talk about where our reporters are going to go that day, where our videographers are going, and we have a little bit of a preview of what we are going to have tonight starting at 9 and 10 p.m. on Peachtree TV and then 11 p.m. on CBS. So keep in mind, because of Masters coverage, we do not have early newscasts, but whether it's here or online or on your app or Apple TV, Roku, anything I may have missed there, we have you covered with all of those updates. And while I'm thinking about it, because this is a rainy day, we have a first alert forecast for you. Just might be a good idea to go ahead and download our app, because you do get push notifications sent to you, whether it's for breaking news or for weather that you need to know. So just wanted to give you a little heads up. That might be a good idea to do while you are staying inside in this rainy weather. Or maybe you're out and about. Maybe you're seeing some family, and that's a good thing. So what are our reporters working on right now? Well, we have reporter Yasmina Alston. She is looking into a tip that we received to the Atlanta News First newsroom that there were reports of a Fulton County deputy being assaulted by an inmate. That is something that she is looking into to work to get confirmation when this happened, how this actually happened, and what, if any, injuries this deputy sustained as a result. So that is what she is working on right now. I also want to bring up this news release. This is from the City of South Fulton Police Department Facebook page. I'll scroll through it a little bit here, but we saw this on Facebook, and this is a report of an officer-involved shooting that they are looking into right now. I'll go ahead and read here what the release says. It says, on April 7th, 2023, the South Fulton Police Department had an officer-involved shooting involving one of our officers on Hampton Court near Burdett Road. One person was shot and had to be transported to an area hospital. As per standard protocol and in the interest of transparency, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation was called in to conduct an impartial and thorough investigation into the incident. No other officers were injured. So this is something that we are looking into right now. This is a report, again, from the City of South Fulton Police Department. This is on their official Facebook page, and we're looking into that as well. And speaking, unfortunately, of officer-involved shootings, there was another one this morning. We're going to take you to that video now. The GBI sent an official press release not too long ago, so we just got the latest information into our newsroom. The GBI says they are investigating an officer-involved shooting, and this happened in Atlanta. One man, they say, was shot and is in stable condition at the hospital. One officer suffered face and head injuries and is being treated at the hospital. They say this happened around 4 a.m. Atlanta police officers responded to the City of Atlanta Public Works regarding a 911 call of a suspicious vehicle. An officer arrived there, they say, and found a Ford F-250 that had crashed into the guard stand. Now, through the passenger side of the truck, the officer attempted to make contact with the driver. That driver, later identified as Jamario Duffy, 39 years old, from Stone Mountain, but he did not respond. So the officer went around to the driver's side. That's when they opened the truck door, and Duffy attempted to leave but wasn't able to. So the officer continued, they say, to give Duffy commands to get out of the truck. Duffy got out, immediately, they say, attacked that officer, hitting him in the face and the head, and during that attack, the officer shot Duffy. The GBI, they say they are going to be conducting an independent investigation of this, as is standard protocol, as we just heard with the South Fulton Police Department. And they do make a note that this is the 28th officer-involved shooting that the GBI has been asked to investigate so far this year in 2023. So at this point, we are looking into reports of 2 officer-involved shootings that took place within 24 hours of each other. And we're going to have more on that a little bit later in the newscast. Now, the next story I wanted to talk to you about, this is one that I actually worked on this week. This is a really tragic story, but a really incredible family trying to bring purpose from pain. Today marks 1 year since a triple shooting at a business in Coweta County. This happened at the Lock, Stock, and Barrel gun range. It was a family-owned business. The couple, Evelyn and Tommy Hawk, and their grandson was home from spring break, actually helping them in their store when they say a young man, 21-year-old man, broke in an attempted armed robbery, it seems, and killed all three of them. So I sat down with the aunt and uncle on Thursday, and they shared some really special memories. They say this week is hard for a lot of reasons, namely because it has been 1 year since that horrific scene. It also would have been Tommy Hawk, the grandfather's 76th birthday. And they say Easter, which is tomorrow, was his wife Evelyn's favorite holiday, and their house was the one that everyone always gathered at every Easter. So for so many reasons, this family's really hurting, but they are trying to honor their legacies. And Luke Hawk, who was 18 at the time he was killed, would have been a freshman at Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. So they are setting up a scholarship in his name. I want to pull up the story that we did this week. This was on Thursday, just to show what they are doing and how you can get involved. They are asking for donations. They have a goal of $75,000, and they say they're about halfway there right now. So I'm going to play you the story, and you can learn a little bit more about what happened and how they're trying to move past this pain. Tape still here from the horrifying scene at this family business. 3 crosses stand outside the Lock, Stock, and Barrel shooting range in Grantville.
We want to make sure that Tommy and Evelyn and Luke's memories stay with us.
1 year ago, Shelby Wright Whitlock and Ron Whitlock suffered unimaginable loss.
Luke, he was Shelby and I decided that he was sunshine to us, right?
Yeah.
He would brighten the room for you. He was good to talk to. He was quiet. But once you got him going, buckle up, right?
Their 18-year-old nephew, Luke Hawk, and his grandparents, Tommy and Evelyn Hawk, were shot and killed at the shooting range by a 21-year-old suspect in an apparent armed robbery.
Tommy taught me Sunday school since like grade school through high school. He was a Sunday school teacher. Evelyn was the pianist in the church. She led the youth choir for us. They were people who helped form the character of an entire group of kids in that city.
Even worse, Tommy and Evelyn's son, Richard, Luke's father, is the county coroner. He was among the first on the scene.
Luke would have been a freshman at Abraham Baldwin this fall and followed in his sister's footsteps.
And that's why they're honoring his life, setting up a scholarship. It's for future students of the Agricultural College with a goal of $75,000, wanting to give another young person the chance to live the dreams that Luke had.
And this would be a great memorial to Luke. Much good was taken out of this world. This is a way for us to add some good back. As
you just heard, they were speaking of the scholarship fund that they've created in Luke Hawk's name, and we have more information if you feel compelled to contribute to that. We have that on atlantanewsfirst.com. Just search for this story, and we have a link that will direct you to there. And again, this is just such a tragic story, a heartbreaking story, and as you heard, I mean, that family suffering so much pain, the father having to come onto the scene to see his own son, his own parents, truly devastating, but they say that they are taking time as a family this weekend and certainly encouraging others to do the same. So before I turn it over to weather, just going to give you a quick recap here of all the top stories that we are working on. We are working on reports of 2 officer-involved shootings, one happening around 4 o'clock this morning in Atlanta at the City Public Works building. That sent the suspect to the hospital as well as the officer to the hospital. And we're also looking into one from the City of South Fulton Police Department that they reported yesterday. They say no officers were injured there. And again, this does mark 1 year since the triple homicide. That investigation is ongoing. One suspect is in custody, and the DA is taking over that case for Coweta County. Our reporters right now also looking into reports of a Fulton County deputy potentially being assaulted by an inmate. We're going to keep you posted on all of these things, both on air and, of course, online at atlantanewsfirst.com. And just a quick programming note, remember that we have newscasts at 9 and 10 on Atlanta News First. That's on Peachtree TV, and then tonight at 11. So let's take a look at this scene right here. Yeah, Cutter, this really isn't the way that we want to start our our holiday weekend here, but I'm going to turn it over to you to see what people can expect for the rest of their weekend. Hopefully not a total washout for their Easter Sunday.
No, we're going to see some improvement out there. We'll call it a complete 180 from the nasty conditions we have outside right now. Again, you're looking live from basically West Midtown, the Atlantic Station area. This is actually the roof of Atlanta News First. We're looking back across the connector towards Midtown and downtown Atlanta, and you can see it is nothing but gloom across all of Metro Atlanta. Again, a very rainy, not just start to your Saturday before Easter, but much of the day. Look at those raindrops blowing by the camera. It's a brisk one out there. Combine that with temperatures in the 40s, and it feels unseasonably chilly across not just Metro Atlanta, but again, all of North Georgia. So again, thank you for tuning in and for watching. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, you can holler at us. We are streaming live in a couple of different places, including YouTube as well, and we have the Facebook feeds up. Let's see. Hey there, Claiborne Watkins. Emily Huzzle, hello to you. Wesley Millsap from Ackworth, hello to you, Wesley. You're going to be the first to see the rain taper off. Again, we're chatting on Atlanta News First with folks that are commenting on the Facebook page. Current temperatures, that's what you're looking at right now. We are also streaming at YouTube Live. Again, thank you everyone for watching. We're going to go ahead and dive into your forecast. We'll take a look at radar right now, see where it's raining. Pretty much everywhere at the moment. But notice how it's starting to taper off west of Atlanta. Cleburne, Randolph counties in Alabama, Weedawee, Roanoke, up into Cleburne County, I-20 corridor there, southeast of Anniston. Rain has mostly stopped. It's still very cloudy, very gloomy, cold, brisk. But rain is much more spotty. Up into far northwest Georgia, Lafayette, Georgia, Dalton area. Rain is tapering off. Calhoun's still a steady rain, but that back edge of the rain is not far away. Again, just to your west. That's the back edge right there with drier conditions in the Tryon area, Somerville, Chattooga County, up again towards Lafayette, Rome, Floyd County. You're still in the rain for the moment, but that drier condition is building in from the west. That 85 corridor, though, it is still a super soaker. That entire stretch, you can see it is a rainy drive. So if you have Easter planned to take you up into the mountains of northeast Georgia, if you have family maybe in the upstate of South Carolina and you are celebrating Passover or Easter, whatever you're celebrating or not, if your trip brings you along the 85 corridor between Anderson, South Carolina and Atlanta, Georgia, that entire stretch is going to be rain-soaked if you're leaving within the next 30 to 45 minutes. But again, you can tell that the drier condition is building in from the west. So as we get to about dinner time, I think we're going to see conditions start to improve Metro Atlanta, much of North Georgia, and then we're really all drying out by 10, 11 o'clock this evening. Again, here is that hour-by-hour forecast. Even though we dry out, we remain very chilly. No improvement in that part of the forecast. So we're going to be watching this pretty closely here for the next several minutes. 20-something on YouTube. YouTube Live right now saying good afternoon from Weiner. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the viewership. And again, we are streaming as well on Facebook. And if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, you need clarification on that forecast, just give me a holler. Atlanta News First on YouTube Live or on Facebook Live. Here's that hour-by-hour forecast. Temperatures mid-40s now. We basically remain there through early evening and then maybe drop very slowly back into the lower 40s overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. We're going to wake up on our Easter Sunday morning, and yes, there still will be some clouds, maybe a couple of sprinkles, but also some sunshine breaking through during the morning. And that combined with an air mass that is modifying or slowly getting warmer, we are going to manage warmer conditions tomorrow afternoon, but we do have to get through a pretty chilly Sunday morning. So if you have Easter plans that bring you out early, jackets, maybe even the winter coat, not a bad idea. Across the metro, lower 40s the rule. I think going about 42, 43 inside I-285, lower 40s, kind of the rule across all of the metro. Not a huge range in numbers tomorrow morning. Basically, everyone's starting off about the same. We have the clouds. Everyone has that cool northeast breeze blowing, so not a big range in temperature. So it will be colder up in the mountains. Temperatures in the 30s to begin Easter, with probably some more clearing up in the mountains as well. And that clearer condition allows temperatures to cool more quickly and more readily overnight into the early Sunday morning hours. 43 though LaGrange, 41 Carrollton and Athens. You factor in the breeze, it will feel like it is in the 30s on your Easter morning. Now let's talk about Easter afternoon. Between now and then, it's the rain. that we're talking about. 1, 2 a.m., though, it's out of the picture. There's some of that clearing and temperatures back in the 40s. By 9 a.m., 10, 11, we're back in the 50s, though still cool for any brunch plans. By noon, 1 o'clock, temperatures still in the mid to upper 50s, depending on where cloud cover sets up. Notice how it may be coolest, actually along and south of the I-20 corridor. Meanwhile, Blue Ridge, Ellijay, some of these mountain communities actually pushing 60 by early afternoon with more sunshine, dry air. That allows for a greater warm-up. And do notice that temperatures, even in Atlanta, even on the far south side, eventually by late afternoon peak in the lower 60s in many spots. Now, some could stay in the upper 50s, but I think most in the 60s tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, we're mostly dry. Temperatures fall back through the 50s for any Easter supper plans. And then we'll wake up Monday morning to more clouds back in the forecast with temperatures in the 40s. Again, Monday, kind of a cloudier day, but these are higher level clouds. I think some sunshine will filter on through, kind of a filtered sunshine, so to speak. And then we have nicer weather on the way, not just for our Monday, but through the rest of the work week. Tuesday, Wednesday, nice days. Thursday, I think, still mostly dry, but then we're going to be watching Friday, possibly into Saturday, but I think Friday, the day with the next greatest rain chance, area of low pressure possibly forming in the Gulf of Mexico along the Gulf Coast, and that could help spread some moisture deeper into North Georgia, really much of the south and southeast. But there are question marks there. No one day is looking like a total washout, but if it is trending wetter, we'll first alert you, add that first alert to the 7-day forecast and let you know you may need to adjust your plans. But right now, not looking like a solid washout, but we will be keeping you updated. Going to leave you with a live look outside. Again, as Karli mentioned, we are not leaving you. We're still watching the forecast. We'll keep you updated in the First Alert weather app, AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Your next newscast is on Peachtree TV at 9 p.m. We'll have a 10 o'clock hour and then back on Atlanta News First, WANF, for an 11 o'clock half hour. Wishing you a dry and warm and hopefully cozy rest of your Saturday before Easter. Do promise, folks, nicer weather is back in the forecast tomorrow. We will detail it for you in the First Alert weather app through the evening.